say hi to Steve-O. I'd rather say hi on the air.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That is.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
I want people to hear our true friendship.
Red Tide.
There's no way they don't hear that.
They can hear our Red Tide friendship.
Red Tide.
I can't wait. I'm already planning when it's my birthday. I'm going to send Steve-O a text. Happy birthday, Steve-O.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm hoping that like maybe we'll be the only two that know about each other's birthdays.
Not gonna happen.
Not after this.
People forget. I mean, days come and oh shit, we just lost something. Uh-oh.
Day.
Ah, there we go. No?
Bunch of fourth grade.
Really?
Uh-oh.
There you go.
There we go.
Wow.
I knew it was gonna come back.
I'm going to...
You're tearing me up.
Annoy people?
It's just like peeling the head off.
The babies.
Coffee.
Yeah, that's a repeat of one of my jokes. I told that to Brian once. So I'm like plagiarizing myself.
So it's like time travel.
How's everybody doing?
I'm
Red
okay.
Tide.
You have a red tide right now? Is that what you're saying? You're not an Alabama fan.
No.
That's real.
Yeah, but they're red. Their colors are red.
Crimson.
Maroon Tide. We have Red Tide. It has arrived. It made its way around the Horn of Florida. What? The Straits of Florida?
I don't know what
Cape,
that is.
The Cape Horn of Florida.
Cape Horn?
Cape Horn of plenty.
Huh.
Yeah, apparently I saw a picture of a bunch of like hundreds of dead fish at the International Palms, about a mile south of us. I'm gonna go wassailing tonight and do some investigation and see if I can find some dead fish. If so, man, I'm gonna have a lot of dead fish. You guys are gonna need to come help me eat it.
Plague-tastic.
You don't want to eat red tide fish, do you?
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
No.
How are they dead?
That's what he's got to find out. He's got to investigate.
Yeah, I
what
gotta
it is.
You
investigate.
don't need our help to eat them. You need our help to do autopsies.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna have thousands of fish. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like instead of doing jack-o'-lanterns, and we're just gonna cut open some fish.
They're rotting pumpkins, rotting fish.
Yeah.
So next week, he's going to be streaming from like the room in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get
Yeah.
some tiny little tea candles to put inside them.
Tea kittens. What?
Tea candle.
Oh my god.
Tea kittens. Jump up on your Buffy cookies. So, I should have even brought it up. It's just a friend of ours, Nick, that makes up random shit sometimes, and he says stuff that's funny, like jump up on your Buffy cookies.
Don't act like you guys have never heard that phrase before,
Never
though.
heard of it.
Oh,
Don't act. Come on.
This is
Red
the
Tide.
person I've heard of, but I've never met.
Heard a lot about him. We've talked about him quite a bit.
Yeah, we
Ever.
have. I bet he hasn't listened to a single episode. I don't think he knows how. Nick, we do this podcast. Oh, that's cool, bro. I don't. What is that?
How are you? You asked us how we are. Not individually like you usually do, but
I mean, I never got to it. I'm good.
good.
oh no, more
don't-
I
sounds.
was getting coffee at the convenience store, and they had Taco Bell tortilla chips.
We know about those, don't we?
The Dorditos chips.
The Taco Bell flavored chips.
They're
Oh yeah,
They're like Doritos.
and they look like a hot sauce patch.
We have
Are
to
you okay over
satisfy
there?
Packet.
the asthma listeners.
Look what I brought back.
Dave, this is for a
Nitro.
Left hand milk stout.
Oh, that's good shit.
Hell yeah.
your face right in that bag.
You gotta smell it.
If there's
I'll
a,
smell
love-
it, but I'm not eating
I never
it.
eat Taco Bell. Have one chip.
No,
Uh-oh.
have half a chip.
no,
I don't-
I cannot stand.
Oh,
Those-
that's
that
why you
stuff.
said I'm gonna love this because everyone's gonna be eating chips.
Yeah.
Oh
I just
no.
wanted to do it
That
because
doesn't look even
everybody knows
slightly
the
appealing.
listeners. You guys don't know this. The only emails I get are listeners talking about how much they love the beverage taste tests.
Oh,
Everybody they want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
about it. They want to hear what we think about the caffeinated beverages, the alcoholic beverages. And I was standing and buying my caffeinated beverage at the pilot there, and I looked over and I saw fire chips,
Shire Phipps.
and we're gonna do a taste test.
That
Are we?
is
Yeah,
I
a
don't-
red ass chip.
Yeah.
Are you into the microphone
yes.
the polite way?
It's for the asthmers.
Do I really have to eat one of
Eat
these?
one day.
Wow, it smells like
You live
ramen
off
noodles.
carbs, don't
Okay,
complain.
I'm gonna go away from my
No.
microphone.
Just smell it.
I'll smell it.
It doesn't even smell like real food, bro.
Don't you fucking tell me about real food, Dave. I know what you live off of.
It smells nothing like Skittles.
Smells like dried hot sauce.
It tastes
It
good
does.
as hell.
Yeah,
That's
I like
exactly it.
yeah.
It tastes like ramen noodles, except real spicy.
with Taco Bell hot sauce on it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's supposed to be like the fire sauce. I tasted a little bit, but
Dave. Why would
I
you
don't-
do this?
I don't know. It's got that kind of a harder texture to the chip. You see what I'm saying? Like that flat, hard.
Mhm.
And I want more of that crispy,
Taco Bell.
like the or like Doritos. They have the same shape, but there's a bit more puffiness to them.
They
Or,
should.
or like the actual chips from Taco Bell that you dip in cheese.
Yeah.
That would be a good texture. No,
Ooh, that was good.
I don't want any more of them.
They
It's-
should.
it's- It tastes good. I don't want to.
I'd
It
rather
tastes.
chew toenails.
Do you want another
good.
one?
No thanks.
I can't eat these, so
Do you still have the bag I left there?
No, I ate them. I know, I don't know if you did it on purpose, but it was. You know how the Taco. Well, you guys are looking at one, but the Taco Bell hot sauce Doritos have. They look like hot sauce packets. They have little quips on them. Well, there was one. She found one that said, "I had so much fun," and left that on our dining room table. And we found it, and then I ate them.
Fucking cute.
Oh,
They should figure out a way to make those chips just a little bit soggy, like the bottom part of a hard shell taco that you get from Taco Bell that's soaked through from the grease and the water runoff from the tomatoes. It's like real soggy, and when you pick it up, a lot of times it'll just fall out the bottom. That's if they could encapsulate that into a chip.
Or if you're willing to do a little hard work, get a bag of those chips, put them on a plate, put some lettuce, put some ground beef, put some cheddar
Now you're
cheese,
talking.
put some diced tomatoes on
Whole
it.
lot
Make
of sour
yourself
cream.
a
Whole lot of sour cream.
deconstructed Taco Bell
Oh, yeah.
taco. And then let it sit for a minute, let the
That's
juices
like
from the
ultimate
meat.
stoner food.
oh,
right there.
the Nacho Bel Grande.
Yeah, it's like the
Nacho
Nacho Bel Grande, but with the Taco Bell.
My
tortilla
my
chips.
inspiration for this comes from when I was like 14. I went to this family dinner where we were having taco salad, and it consisted of nacho cheese Doritos in a bowl, crushed up with lettuce and ketchup on it.
Oh my god!
It's a little Martha Stewart going on there. That's some stuff.
Did you guys
And this-
ever? What? Go ahead.
This was way better than that.
Have you ever heard of medieval salad?
I've heard of medieval and I've heard of salad, but the
No.
two together is unfamiliar
Just,
to me.
you just reminded me of something that we used to do when I was a kid, when me and my sister were young, living with mom. We would take big trash bags and like cut them open. You know, you basically form a tablecloth out of them. You know, but not ruin your good tablecloth. Dump chips and the beef and the lettuce and just whatever kind of salad, really. You know, throw lettuce and tomatoes and cheeses and dressing and shit all on the table. This huge mound of salad, and then you eat it with your hands.
So it's like a seafood boil, but
That
healthy.
doesn't sound. I would come up with different names for that kind of.
Yeah,
endeavor.
nothing medieval.
More
That
like
sounds nothing like
instead
medieval.
of medieval, I would more kind of like homeless salad.
I mean, Are you
Yeah,
making fun?
Trash
Garbage
can.
bag.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to ruin your people.
How dare you, Dave? You make fun of my mother when she slaved over this meal.
Here's another point. To that point, have you guys ever heard of medieval salad? No, we haven't. Well, it's just something we used to do. Why would
I don't know. I don't know if I actually don't know if it's a thing that other people do, but I'm finding out that it's.
Don't eat with their hands off of garbage bags.
Did nobody dress up
Did you?
like they were from medieval
Dave,
times?
You're being
Okay.
a crazy old man
You
right
really are. You're being a crazy old man that apparently has never had children and doesn't understand that they might see this as fun. This might be a fun way to eat dinner, eat something healthy with your kids, and not cleanup was pretty easy. You fold it all up.
I'm giving props to your mom. I think for little kids, I think that would be awesome.
Oh
Hilarious.
yeah, we would beg her to do it. We love doing it.
Eat salad with one hand, and in the other hand, a giant turkey leg.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what you should do.
we couldn't afford the turkey leg. We could afford the lettuce and tomatoes and a little bit of store brand ranch dressing.
That turkey leg's pushing
Yeah, that's
it.
called making not much money
Yeah,
fun.
that's really what it was, probably.
That's like my mom. One of my moms was taking hot dogs and cutting them lengthwise down, and then taking old like leftover mashed potatoes, putting them on the hot dogs, and then putting American cheese on top of that.
No, that's tasty.
It is so good.
A little boat. Make it like a little boat.
No, not
No?
a boat. It's just completely cover those hot dogs, those
Oh.
mashed potatoes, and
Okay.
then put the American cheese on top. I make that now, but I use cauliflower.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I made that like last week.
Have you ever made a cucumber sandwich?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. You ever been to a tea party?
Not the real cucumber sandwich like at weddings.
Right, like a
Oh.
sandwich, something
Like the
in
bread
between
is
cucumbers.
cucumber.
Yeah, you scrape out the seeds on both sides, so you got like a hoagie, and you put a bunch of ham and cheese in there. And
That's what you
sounds
call low
pretty
carb sushi.
Yeah,
Oh.
that sounds good.
that I would eat that low carb sushi because I have.
You know what
Yeah.
my mom used to do? She used to take her food processor and she would put bologna and Velveeta in it and chop it up till it was like a paste,
Yeah,
and then
puree.
put it in hot dog buns and put it in the oven and toast it. And then we'd eat it. And to this day, that's what I think about when I need to throw up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that took a turn I didn't expect.
That's right. Yeah. Again, to
Sounds
reflect
pretty good to
back
me.
on,
I think I'd probably like that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
growing up, and all that stuff. I don't know.
It was top notch.
top notch.
Everybody had
Top
shitty
notch.
food they didn't like when they were kids.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
well,
My mom's
Doritos
version of chop
was one of
suey.
them.
Sorry, Mom. That was nasty.
Oh,
It's not real chop suey either, apparently.
Apparently, cream of mushroom soup kept me alive for a few months, in the first year of my life. Like, I had this disorder called pyloric stenosis, and I have this scar on my belly. I've showed it to random people throughout my life, but it's a scar on my belly that I don't remember the surgery from, but my parents tell me that it was something to do with, like, this muscle in my abdomen or around my stomach or something was like flipped backwards or something. And instead of pushing food down past my stomach, it would shoot it back up. And this is one of the reasons that, like, you know how when like toddlers or even younger babies have projectile vomit, this is one of the things. Like, sometimes I guess it's probably just natural, but I had projectile vomit all the time. And apparently the only thing that I could hold down was cream of mushroom soup.
Huh.
And it sustained me for, I don't know, weeks or months or something until I got it fixed. Isn't that weird? And I still love cream of mushroom soup.
Well, that is odd, actually.
Yeah.
Must have been one lean baby.
I don't know. They would put milk in it. You know, it probably had most of what you.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was bulimic?
no, Dave just. Patrick said a lean baby, and Dave said a bean Laby.
That's totally different. Dude.
You spit up a little bit when you laugh there.
What?
He
No,
got
not
that
since this
fixed.
Because
surgery.
he was wiping his face. I thought he spit up when he laughed.
Oh no. I have this. You know, Dave knows. Well, Nathan, you got actually all you guys probably know. You know how sometimes you let your mustache hairs go a little long, and some of them curve up, and they start
Yeah,
to
it's annoying.
they tickle the underside of your nose, and you think you got a nose hair hanging out, so you're constantly like fucking with it all day. But it really, it's just a mustache hair, and I just need to trim them.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Being Laby sounds like the fucking the madam at a bordello in Tatooine.
Like she does all of her tricks
Star
with her
Wars.
labia.
Sounds like what
Being
Gwyneth
Laby.
Paltrow calls her vagina.
It's like a female hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Sounds
that.
like what Gwyneth Paltrow would name her baby.
Did you just repeat her joke?
No, I made it way better.
Thank you.
Did you guys have, since you brought up that topic of your mom doing that weird thing with the salad, that was kind of funny and cool.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else that your parents did that basically to mess with you? And I could do a whole series on this.
or
No, anything.
like prank you.
My dad, and I have a picture of me somewhere, and this is one of my favorite stories where I was probably 2 or 3 years old, and for a short time we lived in Maryland. You know, obviously it snowed up there. At the time we were there, it snowed a lot. And my dad would take us snow shark fishing.
Mhm.
And there's a picture of me sitting on a sled, and I have in one hand I have a fishing pole, and the other hand I have a wiffle bat.
Oh my god!
And he would just like pull me around the snow, and he would just like keep, you know, I'd have my line out, and he was like, keep your eye open because you'll see the fin come out of the snow and swing with the
Oh,
bat when it
God.
comes by.
That's awesome.
And there was a picture of me somewhere sitting on that sled.
Oh my god, that's got to be a great picture.
Yeah.
My dad did a prank on me when he would do this when I was asleep. He would do that old fucking shaving cream in the hand and then tickle your nose.
Classic.
He stopped after like I lost it. Like I just started crying.
So you were old enough to punch it. And...
I was
You were
like
6.
I was 6.
You're like
when
scared
that
to go to
happened.
sleep. You're, not because you're gonna have nightmares, but because your dad's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
You never want to go to sleep. My dad would do a thing, and seems like it's one of those stories. I feel like I must have talked about it on the podcast, but we'd be driving down the road, me and my sister be in the truck, and Dad's driving, and he could control the truck just by pointing his finger left or right. Like if you wanted to change lanes, he'd just point, and then the truck would go. He'd let go. He'd be like, "Look, no hands," and he would just point, and it would go. And you know, we would try to, "Oh, Daddy, I want to do it," and I'd point, and he's like, "Sorry, it only listens to me," you know. And just for years. For years, we just couldn't figure it out. He's like, "Look, no hands." You know, he'd cross his arms like, "Look, no hands," and we just could not figure it out. And then, of course, one day, I think I must have looked down and noticed his knee on the bottom of the steering wheel, steering with his knee.
How did he fool you for that long?
I don't know. I must have been real young at a certain point in my life.
When I was born in 89, and I lived in Florida until I was 4. And we don't shake your head. I understand. 89 is not that long ago. I'm so young. What was I saying? Okay, so we lived in Florida until I was 4. We came to Tennessee, and I was 4. 4 years after 89 was 93. First time I ever saw snow was here, the blizzard of 93.
Oh, that's huge, actually.
Me and my sister we woke up and we saw snow for the first time, and we were wearing our Florida level pajamas and just whatever kids in Florida wear, t-shirt, whatever. And we ran outside to see what the snow was all about, and my dad locked us out of the house.
Man.
There's a picture of us somewhere both standing in a snowbank, like just bawling our eyes. And they,
Wow.
Bekah, this is supposed to be funny stories, not sad stories.
Not abuse, yeah.
Top notch parenting.
and I only have 8 toes now, but it's okay.
I learned to cope.
I mean, my dad did a trick similar. I mean, there's a lot of stuff but nothing really comes to mind. But the driving thing, where he would, if I was sitting in the passenger seat, he would close his right eye and tell me he was driving with his eyes closed. And I just believed that. I was like, "What? How do you know how to do that?" So
I used to do that to Nick. I took Nick to Montana to visit my mom with me one summer, and we were driving, and just bored as hell. And so I would lay my head back, tilt it to the left, but then close my right eye, and just stay there as long as I could, and then till finally he would reach over and shake me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, until they freak out and jerk the wheel out of your hand and plow you into the semi.
Look on Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
More chips.
Rebo,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I sent you a story.
You sure did. I got to make sure I pull up the right one. Yes, I have it. I've scrolled to this GIF you mentioned. Do you want me to show you guys? Have they seen it?
I'd like to see this.
I just thought this was funny. We have for a long time the office culture.
Oh, I've seen that.
Criticized the cubicle because it was oppressive and you were put in a little box. So now we have the open offices which they've shown everybody just gets distracted and they get way less work done. So now we have the human horse blinders.
Oh my.
Sonic.
What?
With noise canceling headphones inside. I think
is that what those are?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
prototype. It's $200 some. I can't remember what it is. It's in the article there, but
$200 for that.
Can you imagine walking into an office complex and all those people got that shit on? That would freak me out.
Yeah, they look like the Borg or something.
Yeah, right?
So
the hive mind.
It's just so weird. Is it just all these places with people that have no
cubicle,
no drive? No cubicle. But the whole idea was hey, let's have an open floor plan so we can all work together, or communicate easier, right? Isn't that the idea?
No, it didn't actually work that way. It was just everybody got distracted by everybody else. So now they're trying to combat the fact that they did this thing and it doesn't actually work. And instead of just putting cubicles back in and letting people focus on what they're doing, it's just
wear these ridiculous things.
Horse blinder. It would be even creepier, especially me wearing it bald. Just think of what that would look like with that fucking thing on. That is straight out of THX 1133 or 113 or whatever the fuck that movie is. The clone sitting there doing his work.
Yeah, and get one of the posture corrector things too, so he looks. So he looks rigid,
And really, it just needs a visor across. That's Google
sweet.
Glass or whatever the thing they had for a while that everybody made fun of.
I mean, some of these companies got ping pong tables and, cafes and sleep pods.
Yes. Chill room.
You go to work. You don't go to take a nap. Sleep pods. Whose brilliant fucking idea was that?
Breaks.
Google.
Taking breaks. That shit.
Break is one thing, but a fucking nap. The only kind of good nap you can take is 2 hours at a time.
Should try it at work tomorrow. See how it goes for you.
Nah, I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want him to practice napping at work. It's a dangerous job. Unless you're pretending because the person in the seat next to you.
Well, I can weld blindfolded or napping. Doesn't matter.
You can weld.
Jeez.
I can chop wood.
I mean, you can't see through in those masks anyway. Those things are dark. You walk around, it's like having your eyes closed.
Dave, you had something that you...
All right, now it's game related. It's not serious. There's all kinds of
we don't need
serious shit going on this week. People getting cut up in consulates. I mean, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking story.
So again, with the video games, put up that picture because this is a segue kind of thing. All right, can you see that picture? Nah, you can't fucking see that picture.
Zoom it up.
Zoom it up, bro.
No, it's
one. Oh, look at that.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right.
So he's already downloading Red Dead.
And it was preloaded. This game comes out Friday, and I was able to download it. You can't play it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But the little installer program that was on the Xbox said it needed an update. So I went, why does an installer need an update? And well, because it preloaded the game.
That's nice.
And it's huge. It's 87 gigabytes. That's ginormous.
Like, how
Yeah.
big are most games? I don't know. How big is Grand Theft Auto?
67 gigabytes, probably up to 72 now.
Wow. Okay. Wow. This is huge.
Yeah, it's for all,
So
all
it's
the
it's
online
probably the
gameplay.
largest game I've ever
So many
seen.
gigabytes.
So to own.
Well,
And
a lot of that's going to be like detailed graphics too. You know, it's not just going to be that like the map is that much bigger. You know, this is the first game that they've made for next console, right? Or the-
right, actually, this
No.
game was
Well, yeah.
this game when it was in development and it was being built on prototype Xbox Ones because it was just one of it was the first game to be started to work under that architecture, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But I digress. So either way, 5:30 this morning, I'm able to download this.
This morning.
and it took about, and I'm at 100. If you could see there, it was 170 megabytes per second. It still took about 3 hours to get downloaded.
Oh man.
So,
If that would have been PS4, it would have been 5 days.
well,
Slow as shit.
and it's kind of interesting when you think about the size of this. We were talking about this at work today, and Jesse had said to TO Double that you're going to have enough space on this, and Todd's really not the most tech savvy guy, so he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes,
What are you talking about?
and Jesse goes, if you got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, this is literally 1/5 of that.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I'll probably have to delete something." So, and to further this discussion, that picture that I sent you
Mm-hmm.
was a 4 megabyte file. Now, the very first hard drive I ever put in a computer.
Wait. Let's take guesses.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Anybody
Oh.
want to guess the very first hard drive I ever installed, an aftermarket hard drive, into a computer? What was the size of that hard drive?
Can you give us like what was the computer called? Was it a Tandy?
It
Can we
was
get a
Tandy,
year?
sir.
It actually was a Tandy.
Yeah, it was an IBM.
Tandy.
Yeah, it was an IBM clone. So it was.
Yeah.
Tandy
IBM
8.
compatible.
Like she
HX.
knows Bean Laby.
Yeah, she does.
I guess
Lucky
Bean Laby's
megabytes.
the title of this podcast.
So, what's your guess?
I don't know, like 24 megabytes. I don't know. I
Hold
have
on.
no
You
clue.
said that the one was 4.
Well, no, that picture. I was just using that as a point of reference.
Yeah, this
Okay.
picture that he sent me, the screenshot was 4 meg.
One,
Go with a 8 megabyte.
Steve-O.
I'm going more in like the kilobyte range. Like, let's go like 500 kilobytes.
Nathan was closest. It was a 20 megabyte hard drive. So, in reference to what Jesse was telling Todd, that file being 4 megabytes it's 1/5. That picture would take up 1/5 of that hard drive.
Yeah.
And that was before I was married. I don't know. You may have been starting school then.
Probably not.
No, you weren't. He was 89.
Probably.
I was
89,
married in
just got
93.
born.
So this was, oh my gosh, probably the year
she
you were
was
born.
still about 4 years old.
I started
It was
kindergarten when I was
90.
4.
Yeah, it's
I'll
probably
have you
90.
know.
So now, so that just says, I mean, I preloaded it. The game comes out a week later. All right, cue the article.
Article. Queued. Oh, you want to show it? Let me show it.
Cute.
Yeah, show
Cute. You want me to show it?
All right. So this article is talking about the game and how it's coming out this week. But the sad news for our local folks, because people buy games at GameStop, they get at the Xbox store. Why is this fucker lagging? All right, so an article came out in Kotaku, and I read this morning, and I chose this article this morning while I was downloading this because I thought the irony was just unbelievable.
Yeah. You're like, ooh, what? Oh, no, I'm hurting the small guy too.
Poor guy. Independent game shops told they won't get Red Dead Redemption 2 until November.
What?
Yeah.
That's really
Huge.
sad.
Big deal.
What do you mean independent?
Mom and pop.
So like it's a GameStop exclusive kind of thing, or Amazon and GameStop kind of thing?
Well, specifically in this one, I think Best Buy and GameStop
Okay.
are those kind of folks that are going to get these games.
God damn the man.
So yeah, kind of like this. So this guy, he's in Pennsylvania. His name is Zach Geig. He spent over about $3,300 to get his small. He has a local chain of video game stores in Pennsylvania, and he put billboards, flyers, posters, all kinds of stuff. He spent a lot of money to display into anticipation for this. He even printed up T-shirts. He got a local artist to take some renderings and do some things. So he made his own T-shirts to sell as well for the night of the release. So as it turns out, people had began pre-ordering this game 2 years ago. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I didn't even know you could pre-order this game 2 years ago. That's crazy. So he spent all this at his own expense. It wasn't, you don't get any PR materials from the game developer.
Rockstar,
yeah, you got to get it on your own. You probably auction it off or give it away, during the event while you get some people in there. So he figured that the advertising dollars would surely convert to sales of the upcoming game. But a couple of weeks ago, Geek says his distributor had some bad news. He wouldn't be getting the game on time for its release. Across the country, other local game stores were hearing the same thing. According to the local game stores that were interviewed by Kotaku, mom and pop gaming outlets may not receive blah, blah, blah until November. And, he says, which we all know because it just happened, people are just going to download it or they're just going to go to GameStop or Best Buy and pick it up. So he's pretty salty about it. He ends up calling his, customers that pre-ordered and said, I'd really like you to still buy it. Will you wait? And some of them said, yeah. But he expected to sell 1,000 copies of this game, which is about $60,000 in real money that he won't receive. Now, I mean, that's not profit, but still, that's revenue that would have come into the store.
And traffic in the store.
Yeah. And he probably would have been able to sell some of those
controllers or something. He'd sell something extra.
So that I just thought it was so ironic that this game, even though it's not released and I can't play it, is already on my console, and this poor bastard isn't going to get this stuff in his store in his local Pennsylvania town until November.
Did they say when in November?
Yeah, it did actually. November 4th, maybe.
Probably like a week later.
November 7th.
7th, jeez.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
And here's to give them. GameFly's not even getting copies. If you don't know what GameFly is, it's the rental service.
They're still around.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that with a red box too? I mean, so, but apparently they had some production issues. The hard copies have 2 discs.
Yeah,
which kind of makes sense. It's an 87.87 gigabyte game.
The Grand Theft Auto does too. It's got an install disc and then it's got the actual play disc.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just kind of sad. I'm all excited about this, and I thought I'd share this because y'all would pick on me. Y'all have a lot of fun with this. This is what my streaming schedule looks like.
Oh,
Pick on you. I think that shit's impressive, Dave. I can't even put my bills on a calendar.
So
nice.
So I got my streaming schedule, when the stuff comes out, what days, and the titles of my streams and stuff like that. So I've already planned my weeks ahead.
Dave, yeah, we got to get you off of just Destiny because
it's not game, Destiny.
No, that's what I'm saying. We got to get you off of Destiny onto something like Red Dead Redemption because Destiny's boring.
It's real boring to watch.
I've gotten a lot of my followers from it.
Well, I'm not denying that. Obviously, people like it. I don't know what's wrong with them, but people like it.
There you go, Steven. That's what it looks like.
Dave.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Does it? By the way, I'm gonna be watching you play that game. I'll be playing it at the same time. Does it say who gets the exclusive?
It didn't,
because it almost starts to reek. At what point is that I know you can make deals. You can make every kind of deals, but at what point is that monopolistic?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it is exclusive, man. That's fucked up. If there's an issue with production, then you'd think it'd be the the big guys that would have to suffer because then they can't. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't give you 10,000 copies. Oh, but little guy over here, yeah, we can go ahead and ship your 100.
The guy gets some, and then the bigger guys get some.
I mean, at this point, that guy would be better off. I mean, he'd lose his ass, but he'd be better off, for the few of those good customers and just going and picking it up at the big box stores and bringing it to the store. It's like running out of Coke at a store and you just go pick some up, I mean, it sucks.
You'd be better off robbing a truck as it comes in.
Right?
Yeah.
Distribution center. Yeah. So I thought it was ironic, and I will certainly be streaming it. And I wasn't going to play. I wasn't going to pre-order this. And Todd made me cave, and he made Steve-O cave, and so we're all going to be I mean, I'm hoping to get them to stream as well. So
Brad is. I think Brad has decided. I don't want to speak for him, but the discussion that we had was this is going to be his big break into get going streaming a lot because he's going to stream the whole game. I suggested don't play this game unless you're streaming.
See, the whole funny, yeah. Well, that's kind of the reason why I started streaming. If I'm going to be here playing a video game, why not stream?
Yeah.
And then streaming in and of itself became a game. How to do it better, how to make it, and all kinds of stuff. And yes, I added Brad up at the top of my little planner as to who I'm playing with, possible co-streams. And because you gotta get a plan. I added Brad, Todd, Steve-O, Brad.
As far as
if you get the game, yeah.
As far as co-streaming it though, I mean, if you're co-streaming with somebody, you're both going to be at two different points in the game.
Well, the interesting thing I have seen is that you bring it up. I have seen streamers where they'll partner on single player games and they'll start a mission at the same time, and they don't speed run it, but they'll play it similarly.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Basically, they're both playing it, but they choose different options.
Dave, how about you play the game and then just have me on to do running commentary with you?
That is actually
not a bad idea.
There is a streamer called Robear or something, and they do there's a guy that is off screen, you can't see him, and he actually stands up in games at a mic and plays.
Yeah.
I really like that style. And so he's got the game up on a very big screen behind him. So you're kind of looking at the big screen and they're going comment back and forth. I highly recommend him. I'm giving a shout out, but I'm not doing it justice because I don't remember his name. But
I got to tell you,
watch him.
Put me on one of Dave's streams and the jokes are going to be flying.
The jokes will be flying, huh? We have to figure out a way to make that happen. But
it's going to be tough without having an Xbox.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can stream.
I mean, if I'm not playing.
Well, you still have to have a way to get into the party.
Yeah.
You
can do
with
co-stream.
Yeah, he can do it with co-stream.
Oh, and that'll come through your headset?
Yeah, and also we could use Discord. I have a Discord too, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, there you
go. I mean, I have it. I have the voice channel set up and everything, but I go, now how do I make this go from here to there? And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't get any further, but that's why it's become a game, is learning the new stuff. So I've taken up too much of the time, but yes, big gaming next week. And
Crosstown Beano, check them out on Mixer.
Fallout 76 comes out next week as well. It starts the beta comes out, and Tuesday
the
beta. Everybody says it one way or another.
The beta makes it better.
And the first open window that they're gonna let that run is Tuesday between 7 and 11. Be streaming that. That's preloaded too.
I'm interested to see that because I'm kind of wary of that game.
Well,
I don't know.
Check it out.
As much as I love Fallout, I look at that and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, I'm that guy in the middle that really likes the Fallout series, but has never played
You
it.
like the idea. That's what I'm saying.
I love the idea.
You like the idea of the Fallout series.
So I go, hey, yeah, this is cool. And I've played a good portion of Fallout 3, and I've started 4, meaning, oh, that's how that works, and then moved on to something else. But so I'm not tainted. I can go into it with open mind. But check it out, 7 to 11.
That's a good point.
Tuesday, the 23rd, that's when they're going to have the first open window for Fallout 76 beta, which is 3 days before Red Dead. I'm done.
All right.
Yeah, no
Cool.
fallout for me. Probably
Okay.
not for a while.
Too much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I'm scared this Red Dead Redemption coming out and loving it and wanting to spend all my free time on it. I don't want to do that. I got a lot
That's-
of shit to do.
Yeah. You taking pictures? You're out on the beach. You're fighting mosquitoes.
Hey, I got a comment on. I took a picture of the launch Tuesday night and put it up on the ULA subreddit. And one Mr. Tory Bruno, the president and CEO of United Launch Alliance, commented on it and said, "Cool shot."
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't. Or I saw a cool shot, and I didn't know who that person was.
On Reddit.
No, I saw that was on Twitter.
Oh yeah, no. This was on Reddit. Although he also retweeted the same photo on Twitter. He was also going through. He was retweeting a bunch. He was retweeting a bunch of people, which I think is awesome. He's a really he makes himself somewhat accessible. Like unlike Elon Musk, where he's untouchable guy. He's way too busy. Tory Bruno kind of goes and tries to mingle with the social media people. It's pretty cool what he does. Cool guy. He's a real rocket scientist. He really knows his shit.
Elon Musk tweeted today that he bought Fortnite so he could shut it down for humanity. I'm guessing that was a joke.
Yeah, I'm sure. I did want to give a little bit of an update on that rocket failure that I talked about last week, because they're already moving the one where the astronauts are being launched. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So Russia has basically said that they know what happened, and now they're just trying to figure out why. And they said that within the next couple weeks, maybe even the next week now, they're going to go ahead and put out the preliminary findings of their investigation. But this article came out that had this great picture of what. Well, this isn't a real picture, but this is an artist's rendering of what happened. And you've got 3 boosters that are supposed to break off nominally, and then you've got one that never actually broke off. And I was listening to a podcast that had somebody on there that knows a lot about this stuff. He's kind of like he's got some kind of news agency where he covers the Russian space agency. And apparently what did happen is when this booster went to separate, the bottom of it is supposed to kick out with what little residual engine thrust is there as it's kind of in the process of shutting down. That extra thrust helps it kick out, and then whenever the engine completely shuts down, it's supposed to fall away and then start to flip out. But apparently that engine didn't get the memo that it was time to shut down, so it kept rising up and never disconnected from this joint that's at the tip of these cones. And so it basically, as you guys can see in the picture, it basically kept pushing into the side of the rocket, forcing it off course, right? And basically making it go sideways. And that's when, all the onboard systems recognized the problem and then caused the abort. So what they actually have a really kind of lucky scenario coming up where they just had this failure, but they have 3 scheduled launches aboard this same kind of rocket that are unmanned, that are like military or commercial payloads. So what they might end up doing is going ahead and, as long as they feel good about whatever solution they come up with, go ahead and fly those missions and verify that everything runs good, and then go ahead and actually fly the astronauts up in December. And that would keep them from having to decrew the station and all the trouble that would come along with that. So it actually is starting to look like it might be okay. It's really strange to me that they're even talking about flying again like next month, because since I've been following space stuff like this, SpaceX has had a couple failures. Not Arianespace, but Orbital ATK had a failure. And these failures took 4 months at the shortest, and the longest was like a year and a half before they returned to flight.
Well, yeah, it seems like what you're saying though is that they have to, because
it's kind of
the space station manned, so they would have to do that.
They have to get it flying, and it's the only option. This rocket is the only option, and because the failure was almost so obvious. Like if you see it on the video, and you've seen these a lot, you see that something went wrong, obviously with the booster separation, and there's only so many parts involved with that booster separation. So they need to decide: is it like a mechanical thing? Is it like computer related, that something didn't get a signal, or like there's some kind of sensor or some kind of explosive bolt that didn't go, or something. But they pretty much know what it was. They just have to figure out why.
I have to tell you right now, I've been talking to Putin, and I've been talking to Mr. Seagal. And we're gonna send Steven Seagal out, and he's gonna look at that rocket for America.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We really appreciate all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Is he going to be Steven Seagal going to be the general of the Space Force?
Yes.
That'll be badass.
Absolutely. Teach all the
Did you say he's going to be a fat ass? Because, yeah, he is.
Teach all the astronauts and cosmonauts Aikido.
Call back, Steven Safat.
Steven
That was-
Seagal.
Steven's so fat.
I'm still waiting for you to ask me how I'm doing.
Do you know, actually, before Steve-O started saying that, I was going to ask you what's up. Not exactly how you doing, but I was going to say,
It's
Bekah,
close.
what's up?
Okay. So last night I participated in an event that I didn't really think anything of until I was just smack dab in the middle of it. And
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about orgies and stuff.
I was taking a dark turn.
Well, I wasn't going to slap a name on it, but I did a ropes course. And
Wait a minute.
What?
Didn't you almost like have your foot
yes,
removed on one of these?
So,
I
I mean,
did.
you didn't realize how you made. Have you met yourself?
I have. And one of the things that I pride myself on is I like to say out loud, there's no such thing as can't. So I go and I do this ropes course, and they're strapping me and they're like, here, put this harness on. And these guys are super duper serious. They're like, turn around, move your hair, turn back around, pull on this.
Stick your butt out.
You can put your hair back down. Okay, hold on to this. Don't let go of it. Okay. So I climb up the stairs, and I'm literally not thinking about it. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be cool. I'm gonna do this. And then I get up there and I realize it's up here, and I'm looking at all these options that I have. You can go this way.
And you're like 20, 30 feet up, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
You go this one way, and it's like basically a rope bridge where there's two ropes you can hold on to on either side. But what you're walking on is just suspended like platforms with spaces in between them, and those move when you walk on them. And then if you go the other direction, it's basically the same thing but without ropes on either side. So you have a difficult way and you have a semi less difficult way with more things to hold on to.
Which way did you take?
I took the easy one, of
Okay.
course,
Mhm, mhm.
because it just, the way that it was made with the ropes on the side, it looked safe. So I went across it, no big deal. And then I come to my next option, which is, I think it was just 2 ropes. I think it was literally just 2 ropes that you had to walk across or something. Or maybe it was just 2
How
bars.
big are these ropes?
They're, I mean,
Rope size.
Yeah.
No. What cord size were these ropes?
Like I'm going to have an answer to that
Like
question.
support your weight.
I
kind
mean,
of size.
is a rope
I'm
this?
No.
I'm sure there's some regulation.
Would it hold an anchor? I mean,
I could bend it. I mean, it's not so big that I can.
that's what rope is. You can bend it. Just about any size of it, you can bend it.
And you can tie it too.
Hey Google, what is rope? Definition: you can bend it.
Well, anyway, so I get there and I don't like the options I'm presented with in this.
I don't like any of
I don't
this.
like any of this stuff.
Hey, what are these options? I don't like them.
I quit. Where's the nacho chips?
Where's the abort button?
So I'm just standing there on this little like rotunda where it's like everything in between every path there's like a place where there's a beam, and then there's a circle of platform around it so that people can get around you. And So I'm standing there constantly moving from side to side, letting people around me while I stand there and do nothing except hug the pillar. And I'm looking around me. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? If I go back that way, maybe there's a different route I can try. And meanwhile, everybody else is making it to the end of this thing, and there's a zip line. You get to the end and you like get to just step off this platform and scoot on down the thing and go back down the stairs, and you're done. By the time I walked back to the very first platform, half the people were already done with it. They were already back downstairs playing laser tag and shit. And I have this new challenge in front of me, which is the original rope bridge, but without the ropes on either side. So it takes me a solid 20 minutes to get the courage to take the first step, because you're stepping off of a fucking platform onto a tinier platform that's just held up by some rope. And there's nothing to hold on to except the rope that you're attached to, which obviously helps to steady you, but it doesn't help me when I've not tested it. You know, like, you know, if you fall, it's going to catch you, but I haven't felt that yet. So I don't trust it. And so 20 minutes, I stand there. I'm like, I'm not going to, why am I even still here? What am I doing?
Because you wanted to get your money's worth out of it. I mean, anybody can spend $20 and just zip right through it in 20 minutes. You wanted to savor it.
Yeah. Take it 2 hours
right.
long. Yeah.
I guess so. Well, anyhow, I eventually take that first step. I get across. I realize this thing really does help to steady me. Problem is, now my hands are sweating real bad. And so they're slipping while I'm trying to grip on the rope. My knuckles are starting to hurt from how tight I'm gripping this. And I'm just standing on the platform now. Like, I'm still gripping it really tight. And then I'm presented with my next challenge, which is if you take this way to the left, it's slightly easier than the other option that you have. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but once you got through that one, your only option to the end was just like one rope, and you had to just walk across that one rope. I said, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I am not doing that. So I have the only option left is to walk across one that is ropes hanging down, 2 of them, holding up a tiny blue beam, and then a space, and then that same thing again going the opposite direction. So you're like literally having to take steps onto moving beams that are like perpendicular to each other that are far apart. And there's nothing, like, it looks like, why would anyone do this? Why would anybody in their right fucking mind do this? And it took me, I was there for a solid 30 minutes, pale in the face, sweating, saying, I can't not do this because I'm scared, but I am so fucking scared. I'm not going to take this step. I can't do it. There is one person up there with me now, except for the guy that works there.
Well, they've all timed out. The rest of them are in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean,
just hang there and then just like scoot yourself out.
Hey, lady, I'm starving over here. I got other things to do today.
Listen, I made it out of there before they closed, so we're getting to the end of this here. So, my one friend that's with me is like, just walking back and forth on it, like, look how easy this is. It's so easy to do. You can do this. And then the guy that works up there comes over to me. He's like, I know you're scared, but like, here's the trick. You do it this way specifically, and it's a lot easier. And he does it, and he falls. So
Well, do that, but not like that.
So I look at the zip line and I'm like, the only way I'm getting out of this is if I just fucking do this right now. So I just fucking took in a deep breath and I took the first step, and then it was the worst 20 seconds of my entire life. Getting across that thing was the most horrified I have ever been. I am not proud of myself for accomplishing that. I'm not happy that I did it.
Accomplishing that.
I'm getting sick right now thinking about
But
how
you're Game Master Bekah.
I
It sounded
don't
like it was right up your alley.
The most dangerous game.
there is no reason for me to ever do that again.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, you
say that now.
You're at the end of the rope.
Yeah, I'm like-
Oh.
So,
Verbal assault field trip. We got to do this.
Yes.
We got to do it. We
Yes.
have competition.
That's right.
We
Ropes
can get
course.
across the quickest.
Let's do it.
Play
Yeah, we
games
should
where
all
you
get
like eat
GoPros.
chips along the way.
get tactical pro tour. Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
we can
I'll
do
do it. That's one reason I would.
Yeah, that's all it took.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just go
We
pro.
can stream it live with Watch Nature, that little app. Yeah. Mixer
Yeah.
Create. We just stream it live.
Yeah, stream it live from the phone.
So I made it to the zip line part. About, I guess it was about 45 minutes or an hour into
Jeez.
going up there.
Christ.
And I'm like, okay, good. I made it to the fun part.
Was
And
the
then I
worker
look.
still with you?
Yeah,
at this
I
time?
think he had to be. But
Was it still daylight?
It wasn't daylight when I got there.
Oh.
So no.
Oh, it turned to daylight.
It turned to daylight. The sun came up.
2 whole times. So I get there and I'm like, yay, the fun part. And I look down and I see this platform just kind of taper down and then disappear. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm expected to step off of this.
Yeah.
Why did I think this would be the easy part? Earlier, there were at least ropes. I mean, there was something to look at.
That part before where you were like, you hadn't tested the harness and the pulley system or anything. Hey, guess what? You get to test it now.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but this time I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And it took me about 30 seconds and I just walked off of it and slowly let myself like sit down into the harness and then just slowly went down. Everybody else that was doing it was fucking flying down that thing and like spinning around and doing shit. And I just like slowly, like a person on one of those wheelchairs that goes down the stairs really slow on the side. That's how slowly I went down this thing. And I looked so happy, I'm sure.
Have you ever considered that at the end of the day, they all took the recordings from the cameras around the place, got drunk, and had a crew meeting and watched you?
I hope so.
Oh, that probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Watch her do it.
Watch her do this right now. Hey, Jeffrey,
mean-
get over here. Get over here, Jeffrey.
Be
Watch her.
amazed how long this takes.
That's
for her
the
to get
third
to the
time she's
crosses.
rotated around that thing. What is she doing?
was it the heights? I didn't really know you. I didn't think you had a thing with heights.
I honestly, I don't know what it is that scares me so much about it. It's, I don't know.
Everything's
but like,
so wobbly. We have one here, and I've done it, and it is fucking hard. Like you watch kids go across it, and it's like, yeah, that's no big deal. Just walk quickly. As soon as you take your first step onto that rope, the bridge that with the, I'm assuming you're talking about. It's got perpendicular this, and then the ropes running through the sides. And as soon as you step on it, you feel the insecurity. You're standing on something solid, and you're stepping on this wobbly thing.
mm-hmm.
It's so fucking hard. And they tell you can hold on to your harness line or whatever for support, but really it's best if you don't. Yeah, it's like, it's harder if you don't, and you should challenge yourself. But you have to. Like if nothing else, just to get started on each obstacle, you kind of have to okay, steady, and then let your body kind of get used to the wobbliness of it, and then move
did
forward.
They, time you as you go through?
I hope not.
Oh,
They didn't have, like,
I
leader- they
think
don't
they
have
did. I
leaderboards
think
up?
that's.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had a pool.
It ticked
Yeah.
over. I mean, the
With
Oh, for
clock
that?
ticked over. It's like an odometer, when it ticks over, it starts reading zeros again.
because like they do the
'Cause it takes
laser
a
thing.
while.
Like you go through the laser room and
Right.
it has like times on it.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to leaderboard because I like to win, and when I'm in a situation where there's just no way, like I'm not paying attention to the numbers anymore.
Man, we have to do safety checks every 2 hours on these ropes. Is there any way we could move this along, or at least step off so we can do the safety check, and then you can go up there and stand on it again?
Try it again. Yeah.
I
Done there
thought
2 hours later.
there
At
were a
this point.
couple of times where like I thought that it was going to be the same kind of situation where you're at a pool party and your friends like push you in the pool. I thought that was going to happen to me at some point. I thought somebody was going to push me off onto
Yeah.
the thing, and I would have just never spoken to them again. I would, no question, I would have never spoken to that person again if they did it. And so I'm glad that didn't happen. That would have been the worst. But I think what is like a fear of falling and a fear of instability in like physical form, like is that a thing? Do people have that? Is that common?
Seismophobia.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's probably what it is then.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Sounds good though, didn't it? Seismophobia.
The
Well,
shaking of the earth or something.
Mm-hmm.
Said it with
Instability.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
When I was a kid, my dad wanted to do bungee jumping, and it wasn't from the ankles. You're just in the harness, and my dad did it, and then I was probably, I don't know, 13, somewhere in there, 13, 14, and climbed up those stairs. And I got up on that platform, got harnessed in, looked down, and I just said, "It's like, no,
Really?
no.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't." The thing is, like, I'm not really afraid of heights. And later on, like, I've jumped off of high platforms into the water and stuff, like pretty high, like 30 feet.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
But I don't know. I got up there that night. It was a night, and I looked down, and I was like, no. And I just turned around and went back down. And the worst part, the terrible part, is that my little sister then immediately went up and jumped.
No!
It was just like the worst moments of my young childhood.
I was hoping you were gonna. I hope so. Oh shit! I'm fucking hearing myself. I was hoping you were gonna say that, like, the next person that got up there, you know, they jumped and then the line broke and they splattered on the ground or something.
God, Jesus, save me.
Dave, seismophobia is fear of earthquakes. So
That's right.
it
So it
makes
is a thing.
it makes sense.
Really? I pulled that out of my ass.
That's pretty good. It makes perfect sense.
So it's size like SEIS. When you first-
Seismology.
with the Z, you know, but
S-I-Z-E.
No, that's not SEIS.
oh come on, that's something you would say though. Isn't it?
It's fear of things with size.
This course.
I'm
I'm
afraid.
afraid of large things
I'm
and tiny
No,
things. too.
yeah, it doesn't have to be large.
Goldilocks stuff.
I'm afraid of anything of a size.
Anything that has a size, I don't like it.
Is this size different than my size? I'm terrified.
Is it
That's right.
similar to my size? I'm also terrified.
I suffer from loxophobia.
Locks?
Yeah, Goldilocks. It's got to be just right.
I
Oh,
was thinking locks like salmon.
Yeah, you are
LOX.
just all of it. I mean, size. and
Homophones.
locks.
So as you said that you jump off of platforms, high platforms into water, and I said I can't do that. I'm guessing that it is heights. I'm guessing that, or if you could wrap it up into words, stepping off of something stable into something unknown is something else too.
Well-
It takes me for fucking ever to jump on a rope swing. It takes me forever to take that leap. Of
I think
anything.
there's a difference between being afraid of heights and being afraid to jump off something. I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting into the fear of, will this thing hold me? Will it not break? You know, that kind of thing. So there's difference, just like, because people that are really afraid of heights, like they don't want to go up high and look out a window.
Yeah,
Right.
my dad is like that.
It's
There's-
gotten
yeah.
worse the older I've gotten,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm not worried about if the water I'm jumping into is going to break or whatever. I'm not worried about that. So that's what I'm saying. It's not. You said
No,
worrying
the
about
fear of
stability.
the fear of getting fucked up from it, of something of you letting go and something bad's going to happen.
like running into the one rock that you can if you jump in the water, or
yeah.
it's the unknown. Because I learned, I guess, in middle school English class or something, there's technically 3 types of fear. It's like fear of the unknown, fear of 2 other things. I don't know.
Well, that math works.
Fear of forgetting.
There's
Fear
all-
of knowing.
They said all fear can be classified into 3 types.
I mean, I'd see that. I believe that.
So I'm guessing it's just fear of the
I
unknown.
mean, I think for me, it's pretty logical and easy. I mean, the older you get, you become more aware, self-aware of your mortality. And as I was a kid, nothing can kill you when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny would do all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I would caution him against it, but it was like I was the conscience he never listened to.
I mean, it's amazing you and Johnny made it out.
It is.
It really is.
I mean, there was a trellis on Hiwassee River, which all my friends would jump off, and I couldn't, but I could stand up there, but I couldn't jump off of it. And then there was a place that, I was there.
Try to get your story straight.
Yeah. Where we'd be out on the lake near St. Allen on Watts Bar, and there was this place called the Cliffs, and they had 3 levels, and I could jump off the first level, but anybody could jump. It was still pretty high up, but the second and third level, no. I mean, I couldn't even climb up to the 3rd level. That was too high, and people were jumping off. Yeah, drunk ass bitches,
Drunk ass bitches.
jumping into that shit. Oh my god.
For me, it's the falling part that scares me. Like when you first jump off a cliff and like before you even really start feeling the rush of the air as you start to accelerate, like that. I guess it's complete inability to have any control over your orientation. That thing that makes you like want to do like this when you jump off a cliff. I think that part always scares me. Like it's like every time I jump off of something into some water, like that part always surprises me. Like, oh shit, I forgot about this part. And then you're falling and then, everything's fine.
There's nothing underneath me. Damn.
Well, the bad thing, like, if it's only like a 10-foot drop, you can kind of jump and then you can immediately hold your breath.
Right.
You don't really have to worry about that. But if you're up to like 30 feet, you have to like take a couple breaths.
Yeah, you have to wait and time it.
Yeah, and you're feeling and the acceleration kicks in and you're like, wow, I'm going way faster than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And then you hit the water and you get the worst wedgie you've ever had.
Like, they say too, depending on the height. I mean, of course, nobody's ever lived to tell about it that I know of, but that you often would have a heart attack before you hit the ground.
Yeah,
because
I've heard that
out of
too.
the fear, you're just
you're like somebody jumping out of a building or something.
Yeah, or you fall. Your parachute doesn't open, and the reserve doesn't open, and you're skydiving, and I understand you. I don't know that it's proven, but maybe it is. I don't know why we would have that discussion.
It sounds like something they tell people to make them feel a little bit better about
Like you
jumping
die
out of a
before you
plane or
hit-
something.
Yeah.
You'll die before you hit the ground, so you won't feel it.
Yeah.
By the time
You feel all your arms and legs.
Yeah.
fly.
by the time there's pink mist, son, you don't even know.
Yeah, you'll be more terrified than you can ever imagine, but it won't hurt.
Okay, so I managed to find something about this 3 types of fear. So we're going to play a very quick impromptu game. Just the 3 types of fear that this seems familiar to me to what I learned are fear of the unknown, fear of emotions, and fear of failure. So list something that you can be afraid of, and I'm going to classify it as one of the 3 types of fear. Anything you could be afraid of.
Puppets.
Afraid of puppets. You're afraid of
Failure.
emotion.
Emotions?
Fear.
Not the don't
you're
touch
afraid
me
of
here,
fear.
puppets.
You're afraid of feeling uncomfortable because it's a puppet and they're creepy. Is that what we're talking? Hand puppets. Is that what we're talking about?
I just said puppets.
Fear of-
people are scared of puppets.
Fear of putting your finger in a belly button.
Oh.
Fear of the unknown. You don't know what you're gonna find in there. You don't know what your finger's gonna smell like when it comes out.
Fear of cockroaches.
Keep it of cockroaches. It's definitely fear of all of them. It's emotions, the unknown,
Fear
and
of
failure.
all of the cockroaches.
You failed to
See,
kill it. It's on your shoe. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
That's
I have
fear.
to question that whole thing.
I'm trying to prove it right now.
I know.
Sea of
And
snakes.
I'm saying, like, there's a thing there in psychology. They can measure disgust sensitivity, and that's basically what Steve. That's what Steve was saying. Like, something like a roach, they carry disease, and it's like a disgust sensitivity,
It's emotion.
and it's
All right,
like
I'm afraid of
fear.
light bulbs. What
It's-
classify that? Fear of light bulbs.
Fear of failure. The light's gonna not work one day, and then it'll be dark.
And then you'll
So
have
you're-
to change it. And then you'll have to touch it.
Every
Ugh.
time you turn it on, you're getting closer to it not working anymore.
I just don't like the shape.
The shape, that is the unknown.
Feces.
Fear of feces.
Yeah.
Let's see, the unknown, because you never know how what it's gonna feel like.
Or how much
how
you're going to
far
love
it
it.
lasts.
he didn't say take a shit.
Yeah. I'm just.
Neither did I.
Doo-doo.
All right, it's clear that this is bullshit.
I fear it is.
Emotions. Okay. It just in my 7th grade brain that made so much sense.
It did.
And
I
I've
could see
retained
that.
information.
It doesn't translate. It doesn't translate to pod. Good pod.
Whatever.
Does anybody have anything else they want to add into this mess? This beautiful stew of emotion that we have.
Oh, yawns
concocted.
around the
Besides-
table.
Besides all the yawning,
Well,
Bekah.
I got something to add.
Is it poetry?
It is. I've done a lot of talking in the last segment here, so I feel like everybody's gonna be tired of my voice. So I'm gonna have to try to make this sound really nice and different from
Or
what I've been sounding.
Do it
like.
in a different voice,
Yeah.
but just not a puppet voice.
Do you like
A
a
manly voice.
Or a cockroach voice.
Dude voice.
Doing a what?
Cockroach.
Don't do
voice.
it in a cockroach voice.
Do it. Do it.
Because you're tired of cockroach voices.
Well, you're tired of puppet voices.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, I could do Australian,
Oh,
but the problem is this thing does not want say no rules just right, so I can't do that.
Just
Thank
start
God.
off with
Thank God, I have a fear of
Well,
accents.
do the,
Fine.
Really
no,
bad
do
accents.
the Australian voice, but start off with that
No,
and then keep reading.
I feel like that alien.
do it in the accent, and then everybody will see how right I am.
no.
do it like in that alien click speak where you say a few words and then go.
No, I think I'm just gonna go at it like I normally do.
That's
Dang,
probably
it's probably the best. I'm glad it took us a long time to go circle right back to that.
But do you know what dawned on me this week?
The sun.
Don Don. Who's that?
Tauntauns.
You guys are so funny.
That's why we have a show.
I have written a poem once a week for like a year and a half.
That's got to be a world record.
No, it's over 2 years, isn't it?
How long have I been doing the poems?
No, yeah, I don't know.
It's been over a year.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. I've written a poem a week.
Mm.
I'm an artist.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You might be
This-
able to go to the moon with Yusaku Maezawa.
I nominated you. You nominate me.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna type up my book of poems and send it to
MZ.
MZ.
Namaste, Mizuko.
That's his name.
Okay, it's called Homeless Salad.
This one's for you, Mom.
It's called medieval salad. Okay.
The cubicle game. Since you brought up that topic, how dare you come up with a solution? The only thing you can hold down is vomit from this point on. Distracted by human horse blinders and preloaded with unbelievable irony, it kind of makes sense that you won't be able to see. Production issues control revenue, and at what point will the big guys suffer?
Oh, that was like
Homeless salad.
a little bit of
Homeless
social
salad.
commentary in there.
That's right.
Thank you, Bekah.
Maybe puppets should say that.
Thank you very much, everyone, for a great podcast. Thank you for all of our watchers, listeners on Mixer.
Tearing it up.
Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song.
Yeah. Thank you, iTunes, for being able to leave reviews for us. 5 stars.
Thanks, Google, for providing us a voicemail for people to call in and get their word in edgewise. You can do it too. That phone number is 865-316-6955.
That is 816.
No.
816.
Are you paying attention?
Dear God.
865 316 6955.
Somebody said the numbers in some form or another to me recently, 316, and in my head I heard 316.
We brainwashed you, scarred you for life.
It's you.
Oh.
You specifically have done that.
All right.
I've got the power. I've got the power.
Red Tide, everybody.
It's